Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the workshop of the Board of County Commissioners. Would you all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, again, good afternoon, everybody, and it looks like we have our first item is a Northwest Pipeline presentation, and I'm assuming, I'm not sure who, S. Nubel?
That's me. That's me, Stephen Knobel.
Okay, sorry. Can I
okay.
get you to go ahead and turn your camera on? And I'll turn it over to you, and you can start your presentation, sir.
Let's see if my camera will work. There you go. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Great. I'm gonna share my screen if I can. There it is, share. It's saying I can't share. Oh, here we go. I think this is.
I saw it earlier.
There we go.
Got it.
Can you see that? Okay,
Yep.
great. I apologize. I'm getting a little bit of feedback. So it sounds a little strange for me. I'm going to turn my volume down. Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to say thanks to the commission for letting me join here for a few minutes. We've been reaching out, or I've been reaching out to some of the counties that where we operate our facilities, our Northwest Pipeline facilities through, just to touch base with your commissions and the planners to let everybody know where we're at on public safety right now and our damage prevention. And it's mostly just aimed at being a collaborative effort, hopefully between us and you, to help protect our facilities. So I'll continue on here and read this statement that at Williams, safety is our highest priority. We're committed to zero incidences because we care about each other, our families, and the communities where we live, work, and serve our customers. A lot of the folks who work in our operations, live in your county, so we do take these things very seriously. We're committed to a safety culture that delivers top-tier safety performance through individual ownership, operational discipline, shared learning, and prompt action. This talks just a little bit about what we operate through your county. Williams, Northwest Pipeline, that's us. Your area is what we call the Moab operating area. We have we have a couple operating compressor stations close to you. The closest within your county is over near Pleasant View, but our Moab facility, our Moab office is closer to Moab near LaSalle Junction on the Utah side. We operate transmission pipelines 26 inches in diameter, up to 26 inches in diameter at pressures near 960 psi. We are not a local distribution company. We're a transmission company, interstate, but we deliver at reduced pressures to companies like Atmos and other LDCs throughout your county. We maintain a very robust integrity management and pipeline safety program with our company. Our integrity management plan provides a process of assessing and mitigating the risks along our transmission lines. We've developed and implemented the IMP, which stands for Integrity Management Plan, that provides a process of monitoring and managing and mitigating risks along our pipeline. So it's probably most important to note that Northwest Pipeline, as it is in the ground today, has been there since 1956. So it is an older pipeline, therefore we do monitor it continuously. We run tests on it continuously. And every year, we go in and assess portions of that pipeline that may or may not need to be repaired. And there's enhanced protection for highly populated areas, which the PHMSA, which is the Pipeline and Hazardous Materials Safety Administration with the U.S. Department of Transportation, they specify what we call high consequences areas. These are areas that are close to higher populated areas, places like playgrounds, recreation facilities, campgrounds, stadiums, those sorts of things. And then we, of course, have our pipeline markers out there, which help the public know exactly where this pipeline's at so that they can know to call 811 if they're doing any digging. And it's just another way of knowing where this pipeline's at. So this next slide shows a little bit of what we do with our integrity management plan, the program. Probably the two biggest things that are continually going on, as you can see up here in the top left corner, we have 24/7 monitoring and control of the pipeline. So this pipeline is monitored 100% of the time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, from what we call a pipeline control center, which is a very robust system of monitoring pressures. If they see a pressure go down, that could be cause for alarm. So it's monitored 100% of the time. The other thing we do is aerial monitoring and technology. Is our pipeline is flown by a fixed wing aircraft twice a month. So every other week, there's a fixed wing aircraft that flies our pipeline looking for issues like people digging on our line, signs that could possibly lead to a leak, like dead vegetation, that sort of thing. So that happens all the time. Then within our operating district, with our operations techs in the field, constantly doing inspections, surveys, and preventive maintenance. We have a corrosion control plan, which consists of protective coating on the pipeline along with cathodic protection that helps to inhibit a corrosion of the metal pipeline. And then down here within the pipe, you can see these cleaning pigs and inspection pigs. We run pigs through our line, which is a really high-tech piece of equipment that runs through the pipeline to detect dents, cracks, leaks, that sort of thing. That's all very high-tech. It's GIS and GPS. Sorry, I said GIS. It's GPS track, so we can really pinpoint exactly where our problem is if we have one. And then we'll go in there and assess it, dig it up, fix it, repair it, replace the pipe, whatever needs to be done. This next slide may look a little funny because it's calling out Washington state law. I left this in here because I wasn't able to find anything in Colorado that talked about this. In Washington, they have laws that require any project within 100 feet of a major utility transmission line, like gas lines or power lines, need to provide notice to the utility operator. So prior to issuance of permits, they need to provide written documentation from the owner-operator utility transmission line that the proposed development is accepted. Now, I don't know if there's anything like that within your county. Do you? Or I know there's not with the state, no state law. Do you know of anything within the county regs that may require notice to us if there's a development happening out there near our line?
I think that a development, and Don could probably answer this better, but
Yeah.
if there's any development, it goes out to all of the utility companies, water, power, so on and so forth, to
Right.
respond. But to date, I don't think we've had any development that has come anywhere close to one of your pipelines
Yeah.
or facilities.
Okay. So it sounds like it's something that's within Dawn's purview there, that if there's something happening, they reach out to us, let us know. That's good. Oops, sorry, I got a little ahead of myself there. Okay. There we go. What local planning and building departments can do, again, going back to exactly what you all just said, is coordinating development plans with us. Meaning if something does come up in the area, making sure that we know about it, because we do have easements out there, and probably the number one item on that easement is that we're to help us protect our pipe. There's also these PIPA recommended practices. PIPA is another pipeline organization that kind of has some guidelines for local planning and building departments to look at when you're considering developments near our pipeline. And I will send this to Don so he can have the links for you guys to look at if you need to look at it and want to look at those types of things. Location data for our pipeline. This is probably one of the biggest ones I get asked by local municipalities, is how they can see where our pipeline is located. The first one is the National Pipeline Mapping System. You can go to that. That's a PHMSA website that shows all the transmission lines out there. It's a pretty good go by, but it doesn't give really, really high detail. So the other one is down here, the shape files from GIS. A lot of counties ask me for that, which we're willing to do after there's a non-disclosure agreement signed. The reason we have to do that is because our assets and our maps and our GIS are protected by Homeland Security. So we're willing to do that if that's something you want. We can work with our GIS department to get a NDA in place so you could have it. It just wouldn't be available, on your public site for people to look at. So if that's something that you'd be interested in having, Don, I'm assuming Don's out there. If that's something you guys would be willing to have, I could certainly work to get that going for you with our GIS folks.
Yeah, Stephen,
And-
Don is
yeah.
in the room and he's shaking his head yes, that
Okay.
if you would send that, he'd appreciate
Yeah.
it. Thank you.
Yeah, you got it. I will do that, Don. I'll get with. I've got another county I need to get it lined up with, so I will talk to our GIS folks and get you the information. And then my last slide is basically just to leave it open to any questions that are out there. If we need to have a follow-up, which I don't think we do, we work really well with Montezuma County. I did some permitting through Don's department last year right out of our Pleasant View compressor station. And then you have all my information, or at least Don knows how to get a hold of me. So I am the land rep for Northwest Pipeline in this area. So if there's ever anything needed from me, you do know how to get a hold of me. So is there any other questions that you might have for me as far as our system, the way we maintain it, who might be in the area? If you have other questions or need somebody on site.
I have one question as far as it relates to the pipeline in our community in Montezuma County.
Yes.
Not being able to see a GIS map, but
Yeah.
how much of that pipeline is still 1956 pipe?
Our entire Northwest pipeline that goes through your county it was put in 1956. There could be a few segments or joints of pipe along the way that we have replaced because of some sort of some damage that may have been done to it, but the majority of the pipeline in your area is 1956. Yeah.
Okay. And is it all currently, I'm assuming, extremely stable?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It sure is. We just did some work in La Plata County on our pipeline. We had a dig we did down there where we realized, it's probably best if we remove a joint of pipe. But as far as your county goes right now, yeah, if there were issues in needing to make any repairs to the pipeline, I would be aware of those, and we would be working with landowners or whoever the local agency is that owns that land to get that done. But yes, currently it's operating at full blast right now as we're getting into the winter cooling or heating season, and there are no issues that I've been made aware of, and we are, I guess, stable is the word you use, and I would say yes it is.
Okay. Thank you very much, Commissioners.
Yeah, You're welcome.
Okay, that's all we have right now, Stephen. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I appreciate the time. Again, I will just to recap here. I'll get some information out to Dawn to get going on the GIS stuff, and if there's any other questions, Dawn certainly knows how to get a hold of me, and don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you, commissioners. I hope you all have a good day. I will be dropping now.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
Thank you. You too. Bye bye.
Okay, next up, I see I'm assuming a attorney's in the room? Come on down.
Maybe two of us.
And a boss. Sit down, pull up a mic.
Jeremy was in court, so we weren't sure if he was going to be able to attend or not, so I figured I would at least introduce our assistant district attorney, the one who's in charge when he's gone, if he's ever gone, but this is Justin Pierce. He went on one vacation. But this is Justin Pierce. We snagged him from the Durango DA's office, and he's been an amazing asset to our office. Does great with the laws and helping law enforcement, training law enforcement, working with the victims of the cases, and has 3 major sex assault cases set for trial after the first of the year.
One right before the first year and 4 more after.
So he is a busy man as well. But I just figured have you guys put a name to a face and see who's in charge when this one is not around,
I'm always right.
which is true.
Well, good.
But no, I was more efficient in court today than we thought I'd be, so I'm glad you have a chance to meet Justin, and obviously if I'm unavailable, he is more than capable of handling anything.
And we didn't really have a lot of updates. We're just plugging along. Like I said, we've got jury trials that are set, still fully staffed with attorneys, still working out. We got 1 grant approved so we can keep our diversion program open, which is fantastic. We did have to cut it from 3 full-time positions to 1.5, but we're managing, and that's been fine. And then our victim witness unit was the other one that lost a lot of federal funding. I was able to set up some state funds to kind of assist with that a little bit, so just waiting on, the improvement for these guys' salaries that changes next year. But that's it. Otherwise, everyone's just plugging away and doing really great job.
So are we full still?
Yes.
Fully staffed?
Yep.
And are we caught up?
I don't know if that's ever going to be the case, but yes, there's not.
Okay, are we closer to being
Yes.
caught up than where we were?
Yes.
Okay.
I think it would be fair to say we're probably as caught up as the DA's office
Will ever
can
get.
be.
Yes.
There's always going to be cases that linger and lag, but they're much fewer than when I took office.
Good. I,
We try to keep it easy on you guys.
well,
Caseload, I mean, the number of cases coming in, growing or declining?
It seems to be pretty busy. I just pulled some numbers. Our county court attorneys, we have 3 right now. They're running about 240 cases actively at any given week each. So that's pretty substantial, but for county court, I think it's kind of normal. And then I forgot to look at what I think the felony attorneys are about 50 each. So
Okay.
it's busy. We got quite a few filings over the summer. I don't know that the hires are necessarily number than previous years. I honestly think they're down a little bit, but what we've seen is an increase in the types, the seriousness. We're not getting as much low-level stuff. We're getting a lot more high-level stuff. And I know one main concern is we have a lot of juveniles with handguns has been increasing substantially, and so we have a grave concern there that I know our juvenile attorney was meeting with law enforcement and the court to kind of discuss that. So that's kind of what we're seeing more, is just that increase in seriousness rather than amount of filings, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think that's a fair assessment. We haven't, I don't think we've really seen more cases coming in, but, and in my experience, these things can be cyclical. We'll have a stretch of more serious things, and then it'll hopefully calm down again. But I think we have currently pending 3 first-degree homicides, which is more than the total first-degree homicides I've dealt with since I got here in 2016. So it was a rough summer. Although one of those cases is one that took a long time to investigate. So it's an older case as far as when the event happened. But we're now proceeding forward with the court case.
At one time, we had a juvenile fire starter program at the fire department. We diverted kids that would start fires that were, on the verge of being arsonists, and sometimes it even created firefighters. Is there a diversion for juveniles with guns? Is there a way to get them firearms training, or, through the NRA or anything like that?
That's something I'll speak with Caroline, who's our juvenile prosecutor, about that. I can see some pluses to that. I can see some minuses to that.
Yeah.
If I have juveniles that are using guns inappropriately, I don't know that getting them more access and,
Right.
Although the education piece I like, but frankly, with a lot of them, my goal is going to be to keep them away from guns, depending on what they did.
And it really depends, because we do have a juvenile diversion program, and they have an assortment of classes that are available depending on the situation. And I know we have had situations where they've taken like an extra hunter safety class or something like that. But as Mr. Reed was kind of explaining, the types that we're seeing, it's getting to a level where we don't necessarily want them access to more firearms, but there's certainly options for ones where if it's not as egregious, violent, aggressive, that kind of stuff, there's definitely classes that are available for them to take. And our juvenile diversion coordinator does oversee all of that and help coordinate all of those classes. And
Just as an example, I think that there is a juvenile who just happens to have a firearm versus one who menaced somebody with it. If they menace somebody with the firearm, I'm a lot more concerned about that juvenile having access to guns, period, than one who maybe had a firearm when they shouldn't, which is really all of them.
Any idea where they're getting their firearms?
stolen vehicle, like
Yeah.
open vehicles
Okay.
that they're stealing out of the vehicle, so everybody should be locking their cars. The fact that you leave a firearm in there and don't lock it is insane to me, but I know that the detectives in the city have been dealing a lot with that, and family.
Yeah.
Either guns that are in the household or that are stolen in one way or another. Unlocked vehicles is the main way they can get hold of them. They just door check, which is just walk around all the cars and find one that's unlocked and see what's in there.
Flipping handles.
That's it. Obviously, we'd like to put a stop to that. I think the reality is the best we can do is try and reduce things. I'm not going to be dishonest and tell you we're going to eliminate any crimes. We're not going to. But hopefully we can reduce them, and we're certainly working hard to do that, and working hard, especially with the juveniles, to rehabilitate them to a point where they're not graduating into adult crimes and being part of the adult criminal justice system. And frankly, I think our diversion program is pretty successful in that regard. I think we have a lot more successes than we do failures in that regard.
I think last I checked, it was 89%
Which is
successful.
Pretty high.
amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we don't get repeat offenders usually on any adult or juvenile diversion program. It's been a very, very successful
Our
program.
diversion program is really good, and the people who do that for me are doing a great job.
Good. Okay. Well, nice to meet you, Justin. We'll,
I won't come to the next one, I'll let him talk.
Okay.
He's sick of hearing me already.
May regret that, but.
all right.
you.
Well, that's good news.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Nice
guys.
seeing all of you.
Mr. Travis, Veteran Services, where's your sidekick?
He's at work. Out of way.
Where's our new old sidekick,
The new
right?
old sidekick. Yeah, you'll appreciate the slide where I mentioned that. So, Veteran Services, you can go to the next slide. I leave this slide in there just to remind us who we serve. The 2023 census indicates, approximately 2,400 veterans. I think that number's low. My state records within the state database indicate 2,281 veterans that are served through Montezuma County Veterans Service Office. I can guarantee that there's more than 2388. I'm going to show you on a future slide, the VA published what's called a geographic distribution of expenditures. And approximately, I'm capturing about 33% of that veteran expenditure that the VA makes into the county. So 66% aren't even coming through the office at this point. So I think there's room for growth there. Next slide. So this is really busy, just a high level. So this is that geographic distribution of VA expenditures for last year, 2024. You know, and I just wanted to point out, Montezuma County, overall, total, the VA expended $30.3 million into Montezuma County in 2024. That's between compensation, pensions, VA medical, loans, burial benefits, education, everything. So, you know, you'll see later on that I'm capturing about 5.2 million currently this year. So there's a lot of veterans out there that maybe they don't need the assistance, but I'm actively outreaching to veterans in the community to further our services to them. So far, year to date, down at the bottom there, I'm about 62% of budget spent year to date as of the end of October. We did receive 2 payments from the state, the stipend refunds for veteran service offices in the amount of $25,000. Annual totals, you can see what it was last year and then year to date annually. I think a key thing there is as of the end of October, actually had served 14 more clients than we did in all of 2024. So we're going to set a record this year as far as number served. You can see Q3 versus Q2, everything's up across the board, a lot more telephone calls. I'm getting more veterans communicating via email than probably has happened in the past. Appointments are up, outreach events are up, et cetera. The only number that went down there was the home visits, and I think that was simply because I was trying to meet all those other needs, and now that Rick's on board, I am planning on increasing that capability. So last year, indirect income through the VSO office in Montezuma County, $5.4 million. If you go to the next slide, so far this year, as of the end of October, $5.1 million. 77 veterans that I've helped enroll in VA healthcare, filed 346 claims, 257 are back. One thing that the service organizations are always interested in, that number of days from the time it's filed to the time it's finished. You'll notice it keeps dropping. It's at, the average right now is 101 days. You know, back at the beginning of the year it was 140. So the VA, the government shutdown didn't affect the VA. There's claims being finalized all the time. A few noteworthy items, you know, I am still attending the service organization meetings regularly, all 3 of them. I am accredited with the state, with the DAV, currently pursuing accreditation with the VFW. That just gives me more access to help veterans. Attended the fall training conference. I don't know that it ever was officially reported to the commissioners. The 7th annual Veterans Stand Down was held in September. You know, you can see 177 veterans attended, 275 family members, 19 friends. There were 41 booths with 80 people manning those booths. So it was a good event on September 20th. A lot of veterans came through. I made a lot of appointments out of that event. I am able to schedule online. People can self-schedule. That's been actually picking up, and people are utilizing that, so that's good. And then you'll notice I crossed out and put down that we rehired Rick Torres as of October 1st.
Is that rehired?
Rehired,
Okay.
right.
He's three-timer.
And then one thing I forgot I didn't put on here, Veterans Day events tomorrow. The parade kicks off at 1 p.m., starts at the annex, goes to the American Legion down Montezuma Avenue. Any questions?
Just to add on to that, Legion's having breakfast at 8 o'clock.
Legion does have breakfast at 8. They also provide a lunch after the parade.
Yeah.
The Elks has lunch available from 11 to 1. Denny's is given a free breakfast. Starbucks and Ziggy's given free coffee. There should be no skinny veterans after tomorrow.
Appreciate it.
Good deal.
Okay.
Happy birthday, Marines.
I have
And happy
nothing.
birthday to the Marines.
Thank you, Travis.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Miss Emily, Extension.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good to see you all. I just wanted to come say hello, give you guys some updates, then also introduce our new staff in our office. So just have a little list of staff here. So obviously myself, then Tierney, and then I'll let Lene introduce herself. She's our new program assistant. You have to turn this little guy on.
Hi, it's a pleasure to meet you, and some of you I know. I'm Lene Donahue. Grew up in the area and am honored to be a program assistant with Emily and Tierney.
So she will be helping out, she's already helping out with ag programming, Master Gardener program, and then really leaning into supporting the 4-H program. So we are excited to have her on board. I don't know if you have any questions for Lene.
I don't, but
Membership up or down 4-H? I mean, it's still open, right?
It is still open, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's still open, so I don't know yet.
Okay.
Yeah. TBD. Well, you guys can grill Lene at future meetings when you know more about her. So.
Okay.
okay, we'll do that grilling then, because I was gonna say, I mean, I have some questions again as far as outreach, because
Sure.
4-H is still, I don't think the community really understands what it does, what it serves, and who does it serve. And because you ask the average person out there, and 1 out of 10 might be able to answer it, or 1 out of 20, and I don't think that's a good number, in my opinion. I think that the outreach in the schools probably needs to be greater, because
Yeah, well, I guess to that, so we also have an AmeriCorps position, so that's funded by CSU right now, JC Durham, and it has been a capacity issue in our office to have folks who can go into schools and do stuff. So hopefully that will be something that Lene can do. But so JC has been working on outreach to schools, just to talk about what can 4-H do. We have curriculum that we can take into schools for in-school programming. And Tierney's worked with the School to Farm program to do some farm activities and kind of talk about that. But you're totally right. And we need, a marketing manager, but you're looking at it.
and I'm
yeah.
not
No, I know.
downplaying what you're doing at all. I'm just, I mean, really, when you go out in the community and you ask, are your kids involved in it? And they're like, well, that's only just for the ag kids. And it's like,
That's the
that is
stigma that
not-
they've lived with for a long
that is not the reality of it. Is you guys need to understand what it can provide or what it can do.
Yeah.
The different programs, because there's a lot for everybody. I just don't think that they realize it. And that's always my question. What are we doing to try and capture all of the youth?
Yeah.
With JC going into the schools, at least the ones that are easier to get in, Battle Rock, Louis Areola, she's doing, demonstrating different projects that you can do in 4-H, like the rocket launching, and getting the kids to understand that it's not just about raising animals, and that you can enter into the fair. Helping parents understand, we just sat at a booth Friday night, which was one of the most amazing things I've seen in Cortez in a long time. It was a culturally ethnicity. The Philippine teachers made Filipino food and allowed everybody to taste it. There was cultural dances from Navajo, a flute player from the Ute reservation. Also, the Filipinos did 2 cultural dances. And there was booths set up, and we set up a booth, and we made slime with the kids, and but we had an opportunity to talk to them about 4-H. So a whole different kind of dynamics, demographic for 4-H. So with JC and a lot that she's doing, and with me, there's more time to get out there and reach people face to face.
And I think hopefully so JC has been building on some of that outreach to schools that then Lene can kind of continue to carry that on, because JC's term is super brief. I think it was just like leftover funding that the CSU program had. So her term was only through December, so it's just a few months. So we're just, plugging her in to get a little bit of extra help, but then it kind of helps us build like, okay, here's a framework that we can build from. And then in other slides here, I know Tierney has done, like the tour to 4-H, which is trying to explain what 4-H is, because you're very correct. When I talk about what extension is or what 4-H is, Tierney and I had a meeting like 2 weeks ago with a community member, trying to get a 4-H program started in Toyac. And it was like, oh, it's not just raising steers. You could do, you can do knitting, shooting sports. You gave an example of a kiddo who got a shooting sports scholarship to go to college. Like, there are real tangible things that you can do through the 4-H program. And yeah, we just have to continue to do the best job we can to do outreach. So, yeah.
That tour to 4-H this year had over 200 kids come through. It was the biggest one they've done to date.
You couldn't hardly move in there.
Yeah, it was packed.
Good.
But we do a really good job of getting people to drink the Kool-Aid. They love extension, they love 4-H, and they are in it for generations. But yeah, bringing new people in to help them understand what can be like kind of an intimidating program at times. There's lots of rules and complicating things, but Tierney meets with new members. So if there's any members who are interested in YouTube land, she meets with new members to make sure that they're successful. She's like, if I meet with them, then they stick with the program because they understand it and they kind of choose their projects wisely. So, yeah. But I have some random things I can share with you guys, but you can continue to ask questions as we go.
I'll stop there. You can,
okay.
You can continue forward.
Sure. So we had Achievement Night in October. So that's a picture of the kiddos there. So that was another great celebration where we give out awards and just really celebrate the year. So you can go to the next one, Travis. And then as you're saying, so enrollment is currently going on right now. So if kids have previously been in 4-H, they need to enroll by December 1st. But if they've never been in 4-H, they can enroll at any time, but they have to follow project rules of like when they have to own their animal and things like that for fair. So there are some rules there, but they can reach out and we would love to get them enrolled. And if anybody has any questions about the variety of things that can do, just reach out. And that information is also on our website. Because, yeah, I mean, like there's cake decorating, leather craft, there's a gardening project, there's a, natural hiking kind of program, but then you can also do rabbits and chickens and pigs and all those sorts of things.
Rockets and drones. And planes.
Yeah, I know.
Robotics.
And if you have something that you want to do and there's not curriculum for it, then we could potentially build the curriculum and make it a project if there's a project leader who's really interested. So the options are pretty limitless. Next, so part of, quilting. If you see those quilts that they have that the kiddos make at fair are phenomenal. And Tierney is a big part of that. Sewing is really a skill that she brings to the table. So she has kind of these tasters. So like Linnea is talking about giving little tastes of like, what is 4-H? What does that really mean? And try to understand that. So helping kids to understand like, what are the basics of a project and how could I make something that I can show at fair and get a ribbon? So that's part of one of the programs that she has. And then this is the Tour de 4-H. So this is with 4-H and FFA. So they have booths where they have the kids come and they are like, I have chickens and this is what it means to, you know, raise a chicken through the 4-H program. So they have participants of 4-H explaining how to participate in the program. And that has been something that I think this is, gosh, is this the 3rd or 4th year? You know, time flies when you're having fun. But Tierney implemented this when she came, kind of copying an idea from Archuleta County to just do community outreach. And then IFA likes it too, because it's, you know, collaborating with the local business. And IFA is very supportive of us as well. So that is what that was. And a really cool thing that we have is our livestock judging. Kids from Montezuma County are really bringing it. And so they got 3rd place overall at the American Royale in Kansas City. So that's with Beth Lachelle from the old Fort, you know, Fort Lewis College. She is fundamental in this really strong livestock judging program. So we work closely with La Plata County. So there's kids from Montezuma and La Plata County that go to these different livestock judging competitions. So they've, over the past, you know, few years, they've been getting, you know, better and better so that they're able to travel and compete at these competitions. So that is pretty cool. Okay, and then so 4-H has a lot of new things coming up and different events. So if anybody wants to know any more, they can reach out and get signed up for these fun opportunities. That's the county council, so the, you know, youth leadership arm of the county council is planning a lot of different things. So Tierney asked the kids, like, what do you want? And then they say, we want to do a movie night. We want to do these things. And then, you know, provides the support to make sure those things can happen, to provide different leadership opportunities for those kids.
Are you going to have popcorn for movie night for them?
I don't know. Are you requesting that specifically?
Well, I requested coffee before, and I've never even been able to get that. So
Yeah.
I'm just asking a question.
I assume so. I don't know, Linnea, if you have any more intel on this hard-hitting question, but I'm going to guess they're going to have some nice treats. So,
All right.
yeah.
I'm just,
They build their own car out of a box. They build their own car out of a box.
For the
And we have-
drive-in?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
that's cute. So then these are some programs that I was involved in. So this summer, this is a Lore Foundation grant. We did a series of gardening workshops with Good Sam's that were really successful. So that was, yeah, it turned out really well, that we had a lot of participation, and then we had a lot of repeat customers. So we got people who came to seed saving, and then they came to the pizza garden workshop, and they just really kept coming back. So that was really cool to see kind of that community building, but then people who were just really interested and appreciated the programming. And so as a celebration as well as a wrap up of the season, then we hosted this fall community gathering. So that was the last of our series. And so that concludes that Lore Foundation grant on that project. And then I partnered with the Colorado section for the Society for Range Management. I'm on the board, and this is something that personally find interesting. So they host an annual meeting every year, and this year the president wanted to, or the president-elect, she wanted to host it in this corner of the world, and I said, hey, I also have funding for another project for a field day, and so we combined forces, and we had the annual meeting on one day and then our field day on the second day. And so we had like 46 people on the first day for the workshop, a series of lectures, and then close to 40 maybe on the second day. So it was, and those are people who, there are local folks who attended, as well as then other folks who are just involved in the Society for Range Management across the state who came. So it was a lot of work, but that was a really great event. And then I had Lene and JC there to support, and that was fabulous and made it a really nice event for all of us to be there. Next. Oh, those are just some fun pictures. We had it at the Lewis Areola Community Center. And then the next one is, if you've ever been to an ag workshop of people just standing around in a field, is just a pretty classic, a classic happening. Know when you have people who are happy when you can't get them out of the field and we need to go to the next place, and they keep chatting away. But that's good. With Lene's help, we're really focusing on some ag business classes locally, and then she is helping to head up, and I have a final slide, I think, that talks about things we'll do next year. But these are programs that are offered on a statewide basis. So there's a new program called Exploring Your Farm Dream, and that's for folks who, they don't know exactly what they want to do, but they want to do something. And so this is a class that you can take online on your own time through CSU Online, and then that could build you up to then being able to have an idea. That then there's this other class that's been going on for 15 years, Colorado Building Farmer Program. And this class is how to build a business plan for a farmer ranch. And that's also virtual online, and that's offered statewide. So I know I've specifically had requests for ag business classes as well as agribusiness. And so you can go to the next slide, Travis. So skipping around a little bit here, but Lene is heading up an agritourism workshop that's going to be in January. We did a beef cattle symposium last year that was well received, so planning to do that again. I also had a request for a succession planning workshop, so have that on the table. And then I'm also working with the High Desert Conservation District / Mancus Conservation District, and then Kuvira Coalition, who has some funding for some business planning classes. So we want to do a series of business planning classes for new farmers and ranchers, specifically for then also how they can access like NRCS and FSA resources. And then we have, in terms of hort programming, so Green School, which is the Master Gardener Education Program, that's going on right now. And we have 5 new apprentices, which is a big number for us. So we've have a lot of interest in the program, which is great. So we have about 13 master gardeners here. So that's a big number of folks. And then Lene, part of her role is really supporting them in their volunteer opportunities, because they do need support of like, okay, this is how we can give back to the community, share the knowledge that you've received from this program. And we're about to host our Master Gardener Fall Potluck. And then also I'm working with JC, our AmeriCorps, to host some listening sessions about the vet shortage. So I had an intern this past summer who conducted a survey, and we collected a lot of information that we could have kind of guessed that, people have a hard time finding vets. Vets are also stressed out and have limited capacity to, meet the needs of all the folks that give them a call. So the plan with these listening sessions, we're going to have them all throughout the county and just share out what the results were from that survey, but then ask people, is this what you would expect to, how you're feeling about this, and then also looking for community-based solutions. So, what solutions do people see in the community? So I'm continuing to work with vets at CSU, hopefully continuing to, build relationships with the veterinary school. We will see where this goes. I don't have any easy solutions, but continuing to discuss this and just try to work as a community towards some solutions. So those are some of the big things we have on our plate, but yeah.
All right.
Welding
Very good.
class.
What's that?
Welding class.
Welding class. Yeah, I actually was thinking about that. I don't have one on the books. So when Pueblo Community College, they had an ag coordinator that she's now the La Plata County ag agent. When she left that position, then those regular ag welding classes haven't happened. But I do have a new contact at PCC. So
Okay.
I'll have to follow up with her, see if we can make that happen again.
Do they still have a welding class out there?
Yeah. They have an ag welding program, so I think they have a really strong ag welding program. And the instructor there, we did like ag welding classes, so it was I think it
Spring
was,
and fall, wasn't it?
we did it both in the spring and the fall. And we had like a 12-person maximum.
It was always sold out.
It was always sold out, and the first time we offered it, I think we charged like $25 or $50 and barely covered our costs. And then the last time they offered it, PCC was like, I think we need a little bit more to cover our costs here. So, but yeah, you're right. It was very well received.
Yep.
So, yeah, things like that. I think PCC is, trying to figure out how they can offer those like technical classes for technical skills that aren't for credits, because someone else could be more informed on this, but like they need people to have credits and build towards certifications kind of for their funding, versus just having workshops is a little out of their norm, but that's something that the community really enjoys, are like technical trainings. I know a few years ago, like Bob Bragg and Beth Lachelle did a tractor maintenance class, and people really liked it. So if people do have suggestions like that, you can keep telling us, and we can try to find a way to make things like that happen.
Very good.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. The grilling will come next time.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. All right, Robert, Finance.
I was going to say good morning, but it's the afternoon. Good
Good
afternoon.
afternoon.
I have a few quick updates. One, we're onboarding iSolved, which is the new payroll processing system. Insurance open enrollment will be handled through that system a little bit later this year, and then it'll fully take over for payroll after the beginning of the year. Thank you. I wanted to say thanks to Dennis Bugg and Miranda Warren for a lot of work that they're putting in to get that done. I'm in the process of onboarding OpenGov, which will be our new budget preparation as well as kind of financial transparency software program. The goal is to get that onboarded through the end of the year and early next year to be ready for the budget process next year, and then also for to be able to present financials in some more friendly ways to department heads, the BOCC, and the community through some of that reporting. So we'll be getting that up and going kind of in the first quarter of next year, but we've already begun. And I wanted to thank Jim McLean for helping get that set up with Cassell, that connection between those two pieces of software. We are working on, for budget and the end of the year, finalizing the last few changes to the budget and preparing all the budget resolutions for presentation at next week's BOCC meeting. And then we'll also be bringing some cleanup fund transfers and balance adjustment things before the end of the year to you guys. And then I also included in the packet, I did a kind of quick comparison with the way you appropriated the funds based by category: salaries and benefits, operating other expenses, and capital, just to give you through the third quarter and show kind of where we're on track, and we are on track. If you look in general, the general fund total, we're at 71.7%, so we're a little bit under. A few things to highlight: just we've received a little bit more grant funding, so that's at over 100%. The commissioner's operating expenses are lower because you haven't expended the CBA funding that was included in the 25 budget yet. If you look at all of the funds, Road and Bridge has expended 50.3%. There's some capital projects that have gotten delayed a little bit that is part of that. Public health is on track at 70.6%. The landfill is on track, and the capital fund, we're at 64.
Travis, can you move that down, please? Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, sorry, to the second sheet. Yeah, there you go. And the capital fund, we've expended 64.4%. And then I was just, if you had any questions, I'm happy to answer.
I didn't have any questions. All the percentages looked, good to me.
Yeah.
On track to be where we should be.
Yeah, and all the departments that, if they've had questions about can we hire before the end of the year, things like that, have been really great to work with me to make sure that they're on track for their budget and can do the things they need to do.
Okay. Anything else?
Looks good.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Last but not least, Miss Virginia, come down with your entourage. This is show and tell day, I heard, right? Or maybe not. Okay, do you want this first one, or, which is basically the parts, or is that gonna be you, Heath?
And Heath Higgins is going to be talking to you about that one.
Okay,
Okay, so this is for our,
you gotta get it closer to you.
get closer to you, you can't hear me?
We can hear you, but remember,
Okay,
you're on
so-
TV, so the people on TV cannot hear you.
So this is for our cone, it's for the tramp iron system. The barrels are wore out, so we need to replace all of them. But with us not using the cone right now, we don't want to replace everything right now. We just want to get the parts so that whenever, before we start, we would like to put them in there because we'll have a 90-day warranty on it once they put all that stuff together. So we would just wanted to get the parts in case the parts go up between now and next spring of crushing.
Right, and Travis and I had a conversation with you all last
Right.
week. I mean, we pretty much agree the funding is there. That way we have the parts ready to go, and like he said, we won't put it together, we won't put the labor in there until we're ready to start using it. That way we don't goof up our warranty. So that way we at least have the expenditure of the 27,222 to get the parts, and then they'll just be on hand, and then we'll utilize them at the present time of whenever we need them.
Right, and their labor charge is kind of high, but we plan on reducing that. We have ways to reduce that.
Okay.
So the total bill won't be that bad.
Questions?
No.
Okay.
We'll put this on the agenda for the 18th for approval.
Yep. Okay, skid steers, Cole, I guess that's you?
Yes, sir. So, the three skid steers in the blue are three that I quoted, all around the 75 horsepower range. They're gonna be replacing the skid steer that was stolen earlier this year. So, I kinda left it in that three category, the Kubota, the Caterpillar 262, and the John Deere. With the Kubota and the John Deere, I'm hesitant about those two just because we don't have the software to get into the computer systems for repairs. We have CAT ET to perform repairs, so that one would be my overall pick. I have looked at used ones. The 272 D3 is a used one with 31 hours. It's quite a bit bigger machine. The 262 D3, I've also looked used. You get in lower, around 40 to 50,000. You're looking at 2,000 to 4,000 hours of use on used machines. So I priced new with warranty in mind, that we're not buying somebody else's headache.
What was our payoff from the insurance, Travis?
Payout
I
from
don't-
insurance was $41,832.65. So with that CAT, the difference is $25,857.57 difference.
How much again, Cole? 25?
$25,857.57 is the difference on the CAT.
And these are all new?
Yes, sir.
These are all new, right?
Yeah. And the CAT would be delivered to our yard.
Yeah.
How soon?
That I'm not sure.
Okay.
I mean, fairly quick.
I think they have skid steers in stock pretty much everywhere in the state, so it would probably be
Yep.
a day or two.
The guy, all these, the ones in the blue are in stock, so we would have them within the week, I would assume.
So what was the brand that we had that was stolen?
John Deere.
John Deere?
Mhm.
So this goes to your unit, Heath? What's,
We would take the one we have, the older skid steer that we have.
mhm.
We would take it and put it for us, and this would go for the one that stays at the shop.
Okay.
It'll be the shop, and it'll assist on chip seal.
Okay.
And we do have a plan of action, I believe, for next year as it relates to the trackers.
That's what I was gonna ask.
Right, we had also talked about that because of the yellow iron that sits out and about that doesn't come back and forth. If we would have had,
If we'd had a
part of
tractor on
this-
it, we wouldn't be here.
yeah, we would have been able to recover it
Correct.
probably immediately or within the next 24 hours instead of where we're at today.
And
So
those
we
things-
did have that conversation with the yellow iron that's sitting out and about. We thought we had a pretty good plan laid out until we had our conversation last week. And then we're like, yeah, we probably really need to add. I mean, it's just it's more insurance.
Yeah.
Well,
When
it
you're
generates a
talking.
lot of data, you know, you see when it's running, where it's running, and
Yeah.
hours and all that.
So I don't think it's that big of a item, but we'll get that cost and that'll come back in front of us for those, the
Yeah. Tracking devices.
tracking devices for that yellow iron too. There's more reasons than just one, because it's really, those are tools for all of us to be able to utilize, especially in this kind of a situation where that got stolen.
Correct.
So, okay, well, obviously we can't decide today, but,
Yeah.
Your recommendation is you want the highest priced one there?
Yeah, it's the best deal out of, if you look through the description on the 262 D3, it has high flow hydraulics, so if we ever wanted to add a mulcher to it, a snow
Sweeper,
blower,
anything?
anything.
Yeah,
The guy told me that it has the nicest cab in the D3 series already on it, and it comes with a set of counterweights.
Okay.
So we're pretty far ahead on that one. That's a pretty good price compared to some of the other ones I've been looking at.
and they're all two-speed?
Mhm. Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, I definitely don't, 72,000 for a used with 31 hours. Of course, that's not very used. That's
Right.
probably,
It's not even broken in.
It looks pretty new, but it has no warranty, and it just ran out.
yeah. But that's a lot bigger machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when you look at this, if he rolls that thing up, Travis,
Travis,
roll that up.
scroll up.
Oh, yeah. There.
The one on the bottom, the Kubota, is a tracked, equivalent to the very top first one.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the price difference between tracked and tired.
Which is substantial.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can't make that decision today anyway, but we will get it made.
The one that got stolen was a track machine. We definitely need a tire machine over a track machine.
Any other questions for us?
I don't
Nope.
think so.
Okay.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
coming.
Well,
Thank you.
actually, I will ask for an update. Anything specific that you guys have, any needs that are coming up urgently? Or, I mean, how is everything looking towards the end of the year? Or have you even had a forecast for that yet? Or, mean-
Yeah, we're in good shape. I mean, I brought the invoice for the tires, for the loader tires also, for your signature. And we had this surprise with the water truck the other day that he talked to Travis about. One of our water trucks went down to MHC here, and they took it upon themselves to take it to Grand Junction and do a bunch of stuff on it. So that's gonna be $10,000 bill.
I'm working with the service manager at MHC, and he's lowered the bill quite a bit in regards to them taking the truck without my acknowledgement. They're working with us.
Okay.
But that will be a significant bill. I think the bill has not been paid yet for the paint striping, but we have the funds for it. It's,
Right, and that was already approved,
yeah,
Yeah.
gosh,
yeah.
Is it
a month
straight?
ago?
What's that?
Is it straight?
Yeah, they did.
Juno went and looked at it.
They wasn't drunk today.
So
All right.
that's
So-
all that's the major stuff that I know about that's coming up
Okay.
to finish out the year.
No real forecast of urgencies in the next 60 days? Okay. All right, very good. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, that is all on our agenda, and we have come to the end of our meeting, and this meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for coming.